Coming up on First at 4, students who want to have a future career in law enforcement have a new way to learn about it, how a local school system is giving some hands-on experience. Plus, it's March Madness and it's time to prepare your brackets. We'll tell you how the odds may or may not be in your favor.
Plus, we are tracking a hard freeze as we go into tonight. Your forecast on the way as Mountain News First at 4 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, one school system now has a new pathway introducing students to careers in law enforcement. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox is in Breathitt County with more on the program.
Breathitt County Schools now has a law enforcement career pathway for students. The pathway includes hands-on experiences and discussions about duties in law enforcement. Career and technical education teacher Kenneth Spicer says the idea was brought to him when he served as the Jackson City Police Chief.
Principal before Miss Noble had came to me when I was police chief to start doing this part-time, do it one period of year, during the year, try to see if there was any interest for the kids to kind of be interested in having law enforcement careers. Spicer says he started with 10 students and now he has 103 students. Coming up at 6, I will take part in one of their exercises. In Breathitt County, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Spicer says he is teaching 5 classes, one of them being 7th graders. In the July 2022 flood, several parks in Knott County were damaged. More than a year and a half later, officials are still working to revitalize 4 parks throughout the county with the help of a $130,000 grant from the Land and Water Conservation Fund. Grant writers for the Knott County Fiscal Court, Leah Fugit, says they are trying to make parks more desirable and accessible for folks to use.
This will revitalize the parks in Knott County, which are very important to us. They've kind of been neglected through the years, and now we're able to get this funding to get them up and going and more desirable for our communities.
Renovations will include repairing basketball and tennis courts, installing playground equipment, and more. Fugit adds they will even make sure playgrounds are ADA certified, making them more accessible.
We are tracking some chilly weather across the region on this Monday. Most of us are dry, but possibly a few areas of wintry mix across the region thanks to a weak weather system. Now, we do have some dry air in the atmosphere, so I do think most of this is evaporating before it hits the ground, but possibly a few sprinkles or a few snow flurries close to I-75 in the Cumberland Valley, also close to I-64 from Rowan County, pushing into portions of Lawrence, also Elliott counties at this hour. Again, no impacts, and as you can see from Rowan County, not much is happening, but the big story, that current temperature is very cold, up to 36 degrees over in Moorhead. We should be in the upper 50s, so we are well below average on this Monday, up to 37 for Jackson, 41 for Hazard, and 43 over in Clay County for Manchester at this hour. Now, as we go into this evening, some more mainly dry weather is on tap. Again, possibly a few sprinkles, possibly a few flurries, but no big issues are expected. The big story, we are very cold as we go into tonight. Lows are well below freezing in the middle 20s as you wake up on Tuesday. So be sure to protect those plants as we see some very cold weather, but some improvements on the way by Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Those details coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right. Thank you very much, Cameron. Former President Donald Trump is on damage control after making some controversial comments in Ohio over the weekend.
We're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars if I get elected. Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country.
Today, Trump posted on his social media that he was just referring to auto industry imports. Meanwhile, his former vice president told CBS's Margaret Brennan on Face the Nation why he will not back his former boss for president.
Because I see him departing from the mainstream conservative agenda that has defined the Republican Party over the last 40 years.
President Biden is pushing his own re-election agenda with stops out west this week in Arizona and Nevada. A handful of states are holding primaries tomorrow, including Florida, where Trump will cast his ballot. College basketball's March Madness is officially in full swing now that the NCAA has revealed the teams in this year's men's and women's championship tournaments. But before the games begin, fans young and old will try their very best to predict the winners. CBS's Christian Benavidez reports from Miami.
We begin in the East region, where the #1 overall seed is the defending national champion, UConn Huskies.
The Monday after Selection Sunday means one thing for millions of college basketball fans: time to fill out their NCAA tournament brackets. And that includes University of Miami student Luca Ermilio.
Pick some upsets because it's March Madness, it's college basketball, it always happens.
Few people know March Madness better than CBS sports bracketologist Jerry Palm.
If there was an easy way to do it, we'd all do it.
Still, Palm has some tips for fans staring at a blank bracket. He favors teams with good records on the road and those with big stars.
Usually, the tournament champion and most, if not all, of the Final Four is going to have a guy that is a first-round NBA pick.
Odds are that regardless of your bracketology, it's unlikely that you'll get it right.
There are basically 9 quintillion possible brackets.
Math professor Chris Costner says that's a 9 followed by 18 zeros.
So that number is comparable to the number of grains of sand on all the beaches in the world.
But that won't deter about 50 million people from giving it their best shot.
The more you know, the worse you're going to do. Keep a bottle of kerosene near your bracket because that's what's going to happen to your picks.
The action starts Tuesday with 68 men's and 68 women's teams, all looking to be the last one standing. Christian Benavidez, CBS News.
So good luck, everyone. On the women's side, many will be watching to see if all-time NCAA Division I scoring leader Caitlin Clark can carry the Iowa Hawkeyes all the way in her final season. Well, basketball mayhem is returning to the mountains. WYMT is partnering with Appalachian Wireless and Food City to give you a chance to win big right here at home. Just scan the QR code that you see there on your screen. Well, actually, it's covered up by our logo right now, but you can go to our website for more. And to submit your bracket for a chance to win an iPad sponsored by Appalachian Wireless, a big screen TV, and a Food City gift card. You can submit your bracket up until 15 minutes before the first tournament game. And for contest rules, and again for more, there you see that QR code. We took the YMT bug down, so I'll give you a second to download it if you want to. But we have all this information as well on WYMT.com. Coming up on First at 4, it's what officials in Iceland warned would happen. A volcano near the capital is erupting for the 4th time since December. Hear what it was like for those who had to evacuate.
Plus, lows are set to plummet overnight. Those details coming up.